Hello. Today we're going to talk about using the AlphaADO import function for accessing data from a third-party table or spreadsheet. If you're building an application that requires heavily on lists from a third-party vendor, typically to make it easy on themselves, they'll send that data out in a spreadsheet. Now, if it's a parts list, those spreadsheets can be huge and be very difficult to work with using the old-fashioned ASCII import method that comes with Alpha software. However, the new AlphaADO method makes it a snap. Let's take a look at it as an example. Here I've created a simple little form. I've got a button, import spreadsheet using AlphaADO, and I got a lookup list that'll be created once I'm done. So we click the button. It pops up and says pick a parts list or a price list spreadsheet. Click open. And it says it's doing it, and it's already done. New parts list as of 8/2/2011. Here's the result. There you go. We have part number, description, list price, and weight. Pretty good. There are actually over 60,000 records that showed up in this list in just a matter of a second. So let's take a look at how that happened. We'll go to Design. We'll click on our little button here and go to Events. Now what I've done is I use the AlphaADO import genie, which is very simple, to take and create the import. Then I converted it to XBasic code. Now the reason I do that is down the road, let's say that vendor that sent you the parts list changes the internal import settings of that file. They may have rearranged the columns or added new columns that require additional information, whatever the reason. Now, instead of having to recreate that import, all you have to do is modify the one you already have simply by going down and changing the values for the arguments. It's very simple to do this way and very easy to maintain and keep fresh. Plus, you can add additional code to it to make it work more seamlessly if you're writing for a third party. Let's look at the actual import utility and see how that's done. So under File, click on File in your drop-down menu, click Import Data. Now when it comes up, this is the old-fashioned method using the ASCII file, and you have Spreadsheet, which is a little more updated, and then you have your remote SQL data using AlphaADO. That's the one we want. Now, we click OK. We have no connection, so we want to define our connection string by clicking the button. Here, we're going to say we're using an Excel file. Pops up a little lookup folder. We click on that, and we're just going to pick one. There you go. We can test our connection to make sure that it's going to work, and it does. Typically, that'll work without fail. Click OK to go to the next step. Now we need to take and pick a table in order to take and import the record. So we pick the Excel built-in filter database one. Let's preview the records. There they are. We have our descriptors in our headings, and we have values showing up. So we know we're in good shape. Down here in this section, these are the properties that you're going to set to make sure that your import works the way you want. Your SQL statement is already written. Your arguments you don't have to worry about unless you're building filters for the table. You want it to be portable because if this way the arguments will be written as relative rather than absolute. Very important if you're writing for a third party or you have a portable application. The import type, rather than default, we're going to tell it that we want to create a table. Your other choices are append to existing, create passive link, an ASCII file, an XML file. But again, we're just going to go create table. All right, now we can take and give this our own unique name rather than the name that it provides by default. So we're going to make that my price list. Okay, now the table definition we get to set as well. Here, you can use the default settings or you can override those settings, which is what I typically do. This way I can take and make sure that it matches exactly the way I want it to be handled in the rest of the application. So if I wanted to change it, I would click on Edit Field Definition. We're just going to do 1. And instead of 255, I don't need all that. I only need 25. And really, it's only 15, but the 25 is an okay number. So I can go ahead and change the list price instead of exponent numeric, just set straight numeric, and set the widths and values. That's pretty much it. That's all you have to do. And then Alpha 5 does the rest. Now, in order to get it to be XBasic code, we simply click the XB up here to show XBasic. There it is. We copy that to the clipboard, close it, go to our code page, and now we can paste it in. That's it. Now, as you can see, if you look down here, under the connection string, I've gone ahead and modified code that they gave us so that I can take and make sure I'm always importing the spreadsheet by the name that I want. So what I've done up here is I've created a UE dialog, or a little dialog, that'll take and pop up, grab the spreadsheet that they sent us, because they may change the name, and then I convert that to a file name that is always the same. So if they send a sheet each month and it has a date string attached to it, we just select it, and then it converts it to the same name and runs the import and keeps your table updated in your software. That's it. That's as difficult as it is, which is not difficult at all. You're able to take and do a really nice function for updating data from a third-party table. One more time, just see how fast it goes. Pick our list. We're open. It's done. There's your data. Thanks a lot. I hope you found this helpful, and have a great day.